On July 9th, 2016, our family structure changed. Lydia Yuzu came into our lives after reluctantly saying goodbye to her friends at the rescue organization. I witnessed one dog go up to her, stuck her nose in her ear, seemingly saying, "They chose you. They like you. Don't be afraid. You have a forever home. You won't be coming back here. Goodbye and good luck." And then she threw up in the car on the way home. Yep, little did we know at this time our lives would soon revolve around Miss Lydia. Different from Abby in about every way possible. Skinny, too skinny, 7-kilogram model like Shiba Inu face along with a supermodel's insecurities, and long legs, slender long legs, though at this point they looked similar to chicken legs, all bony and bloody from her chewing on her feet. As soon as we got home, it was time for the requisite long walk to introduce her to the neighborhood. From the start, it was obvious she didn't have walking experience. Her footpads were like a newborn baby's butt. I tried jogging to get her into a running form, but all she would do was a very quick trot. At the park, we ran into local dogs, including Abby's friends, and Lydia showed us her antisocial personality. Tail between legs, barking and snapping. One more hurdle for her to overcome. The next upcoming hurdle would be the biggest. Abby. They met on the walk, and Abby was very civil despite her daddy walking a dog she had never seen before. Once we returned home and got into the doorway, Abby turned back to her, let out one loud authoritarian bark, and that was it. Lydia knew she was number 2, and Abby didn't have to repeat herself. Over the next 2 months, Lydia undertook a crash course in being a little sister. She tried to mimic Abby on walks, but didn't understand to relieve herself in the bushes. She still relieved herself in the middle of the road. Lydia relied completely on sound and sight. No use of her sense of smell. Any noise or movement frightened her. Unlike Abby, where sense of smell is dominant, Lydia didn't have it. She never used her nose to discern situations. This made for sudden jumps or stops. One of her many foils were bushes which gave off a shadow and made her believe it was out to get her, causing her to declare war by giving off a variety of guttural sounds and attempting a fighting pose. This malevolence also was directed toward other dogs, doddering old people, and lively children. Only one was beyond reproach, Abby. Lydia adored Abby, even developing a habit of standing like a guardman over Abby's head while she lied down. It wasn't a dominant move at all, and I researched everywhere to find a reason. Though I could never find one, I had to believe she was acting purely in a submissive manner by protecting her big sister while she rested. Lydia continues that role even today. Now was the time to make another decision, whether to buy a car. With 2 dogs and Abby who loved car rides, we decided it was a necessary expense and gave us the opportunity to take the dogs on day trips, weekend trips, anytime. Lydia was a bit less enthusiastic about the car, but she soon learned a ride in the car doesn't necessarily mean a new home, but means a chance to spread her wings or legs and run. Early on weekend mornings, we often went to an area where the girls could go off-leash, and no one took advantage of this situation more than Lydia. She ran like she just learned her legs could break into a sprint. She ran back and forth between Mama and Daddy, never veering or running away. Abby never showed any resentment against her sister becoming the center of attention. I think she found it balanced everything out. Mama and Daddy wanted to touch. I don't want to be touched. Lydia needs to be touched. Win-win-win. Plus, car rides went up exponentially. Our first big trip with both girls was up to Nassau, where our hotel had a well-groomed large dog run. This trip really solidified the sisterhood and family. As Lydia and Abby ran with such enthusiasm, even I couldn't help but smile. I even started to think about more trips we could make with the new car, new sisterhood, new family. That fall and winter had us going somewhere at least once a month. sometimes to Chiba, sometimes to Izu, up to Karurizawa in summer. The dogs' relationship bonded stronger than I could have imagined. Lydia adoring Abby, and Abby taking interest in giving Lydia lessons on how to be a dog. In addition to even taking the role as mother by licking Lydia up and down after being doused in the rain. And Abby just seemed happier having someone else with 4 legs around the house. Her constant feet licking and chewing stopped, while the blossoming of Lydia began with her feet getting better, running faster and stronger, and gaining desperately needed weight. It was all going perfect, until it wasn't. Well, my mother's passing brought a pall over my life. The dogs kept me afloat and out of despair. But we were tested again just a few weeks later. Actually, it started on the morning of Abby's 6th birthday party. A big bash that was tainted, as Lulu's eye was swollen over and she couldn't participate at all. This extended through the next week with 4 trips to the vet, with many questions, many types of medicine, and 0 solutions.
Come on! Come on!